Welcome to Cooking with Coach. Got a treat for you today. We're gonna go against the grain. You know, dealing with this celiac with my wife, I had to find out how to, make it tasty and make it like what she's used to, but keep it healthy. So I took it a step further. And she loves sweet potatoes. She loves shrimp. I was like, man, how about a little savory and then give you a little hint of dessert at the end. So I came up with a sweet potato. I got some Panko crusted shrimp. Oh my goodness. Wanna see them? I got you set up, you see that, don't you? Oh man, we gonna place them puppies in here. She likes shrimp, y'all. So I'm gonna give her 5 of them. Because one thing I have realized is, it's not always about what everybody else wants. Sometimes it's about what you want. And what I want today is some shrimp and a sweet potato. You see this? Watch this. This right here is called dairy-free sour cream. We're gonna dollop it on there like that. Ooh, y'all ain't ready for this next step. I was sitting there, I was like, oh man, you gonna put this in a ramekin, I'm gonna put it in a bowl. No, I'm gonna show you what I cooked it in. Nice little pot. Ooh, she thick too. This right here is brown sugar. Look at that, what's this? Ooh, you see it, it's like candy, just like candy. Pecans, a little honey, with a hint of cayenne on the backside. Oh, y'all ready? Surprise myself. Now, dealing with Coach, I gotta do something different. I was like, I wanted a Tom Collins, but I was like, I just don't want a Tom Collins. So I did a green apple Bombay Collins. Y'all wanna see it? Watch this. Ooh, mint green, you see it. Now that's money, that's money. It's okay to be a little selfish in life. It's okay. Sometimes you gotta take the time to do for you and then let everything else just find its way and you will be okay.
Hi guys, welcome to A Seat at the Table. I am Demi and on today's episode we're going to be talking about mom guilt. This topic is very near and dear to me because even though my kids are 12 and 13, I still suffer from this. As we know, women, we out here getting it, we doing our thing, we CEOs, we entrepreneurs, 9 to 5, we are securing the bag, getting the coin. But what happens when you realize at the time that you miss with your kids, you can't get that back? Come on over and have a seat with us, because we about to go in. Welcome to A Seat at the Table, guys. I am Demi.
How you doing? I'm Randy.
And today's topic is mom guilt. I know, Randy already knows, mom guilt is so real.
But what is mom guilt? Many may not know what mom guilt is to you.
Well, to me, mom guilt, it was about a time in my life where I was really on the grind. I was pregnant with the girls, had them back to back, 2 years in a row. And I was in that time, I was such in that hustle, getting that money, and though they were with us all the time, I felt like that I wasn't present because I was in that hustle mode. Now, thank God I had you there that, really stepped in to quote unquote be the mom, be that mom figure because you were there, you kind of not stayed home, but you took over the role where society would say we should be taking it over. So in that time, just being in that grind, and I remember, I didn't really think about it. You don't think about it because you get so caught up and you think I have all this time, they're babies, and you want to kind of see this process. But I felt like I missed out on so much. And I think it wasn't until we went on vacation that time, and I just.
And you realize, you was like, wow.
I had a complete meltdown.
When you see, I know what vacation you're talking about, the second vacation when we went down for the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were like, wow.
Yeah.
I think that was when you started asking me questions.
Yeah.
Like you weren't there.
Yeah.
You know. But many would ask, how can you say that you were guilty? Because, you know, in our scenario, we were working together. So basically, you know, you had the babies on Monday, back work on Friday, but on Friday, we were there.
Yeah.
People say, how can you feel guilty when your kids are right there in front of you? But people don't understand that there's a way to be visible but not present.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was. I don't know if it was difficult for me or if it was just something I knew I had to do to make sure that everything was flowing as it should be.
Well, I think it's part of your personality too, though.
True.
That's just your personality. You already have that nurturing personality, so you kind of like went with the flow.
Do you now? I guess my first question would be, have you ever asked yourself, how was it so easy for me just to, you know, have my babies and then just go back to work? And then not that you weren't present, but that the hustle kind of superseded.
It's brainwashing.
In what capacity?
It's mind conditioning.
I mean, you felt like that's what you had to do.
It wasn't that I felt like that's what I had to do, but I just felt like we were in a time and a space where we was making money, like major money. True. And in my mind, because I knew your personality, I know that you could come in and you could take that space or feel that space of being kind of like a mom. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I didn't really think about it at the time, but I think the second time we went on that vacation and we were at this water park, and I remember I had so much anxiety because I was so used to like go, and when we got there, you know, and I tried not to choke up, the girls was so excited, but I was looking at all the parents and I was watching them connect with their kids, and I couldn't connect. I couldn't, and I felt horrible. I felt so bad. I felt so guilty. And then it was, like I said, it was times when I couldn't remember certain things. And you can't get that time back. Like, I can't go back in time. I mean, the other night you were asleep, I had a meltdown because it's so much that I missed out on. I can't go back to that. And there were times when I just felt like I wanted to die. Like, I had suicidal thoughts. Like, I didn't even want to be here because I could not connect. And even now, where I am in this space, and I'm not, you know, I'm in a hustle space, but it's totally different. Yeah. But I get scared to really just go all in because it's so much more that I can offer in my entrepreneur journey. But I feel like by doing that, I'm going to go back into this sunken place. So it's like, how can I balance that in baby 12 and 13 and me really like be present? Like, I don't even know how to balance it all.
The way I see it, I feel like, you know, we kind of were set up in a great scenario. Granted, you did miss a lot, but one thing that you did was you established a futuristic vision for your daughters. They saw a strong woman that was fortunate enough to be their mother, that was strong enough to do it on her own. You know, it's not that Randy wasn't needed, but I did have to find my place to be needed, because financially it wasn't a necessity. You know what I mean? It wasn't a necessity. But now in your life, you know, we're fortunate enough to have this shift that happened. What you're doing, I can't do. I can't raise these young women. I can't place them in the position that they need to be. Now, I could be the strong foundation for them coming up. That's the easy part. You are responsible for the hard part now. They are 12 and 13 now. You are responsible for releasing them to the world. I can't do that. There's nothing, I don't know about that part. Hell, I didn't even figure out how to be a true man till I was in my late 20s. I was still running around like a little boy. You know that because you were married to me. So I don't want you to I know that the guilt is there, and I know why. But Look at the fact that you were blessed enough to work early in the process and you don't get to miss. And now think about the blame you would have for yourself if your kids were wayward because you were still had to be in that hustle and you weren't able to be present in what they're doing now. We have these conversations all the time with our babies. We had one today. But we had to have that real heart-to-heart conversation about the transition from adolescence through puberty. If you were still grappling like that, baby, you wouldn't even been here. It'd just been me, and I'd have been lost. You couldn't leave us because you are so needed. I want you to use that pain as fuel to ensure that you create the strongest possible women that you could create. That's what's important. That's what's most important. You have been the integral part in the whole process. They were able to watch you to see who they need to be. Now you're going to mold them to show them who they're supposed to be. I just had a little bitty role in that. But I know you couldn't see it because you were in the midst of it. But you sit back down, you go, babe, I'm working, and you go, I'm like, so babe, you're only working 2 days a week. And you're like, dude, I don't know what to do with myself. Yeah, you do. Raise your girls. Do what you're doing. Show them another way to hustle. Show them another way to hustle. And that's what you're doing. Because you're still grinding. And you're still making moves. And you're still the greatest part to this family. And they still see that. They really do.
It's you know, when we talk about perception and what you're saying makes sense. And I'm trying to process it. You know, I want to process it. I want to be in a better space, but it's just those times when they were like little girls that I miss so much. Like when they were like little girls, because they're 12 and 13, so
but it's so funny.
Different.
I feel that you say that. But there's so many. You look at the big picture so much that you forget about the picture that you had, and you have so many moments that I remember that I wasn't a part of, because I remember intentionally removing myself from the picture. You know, I used to do it on purpose. I would literally intentionally remove myself from the picture to ensure that the time that you had when you weren't doing your grind, that you had your girls in your presence. And those were special moments because you cherished them so much. Take those little moments that you had and explore them in this big picture that you have created. You are going to be the orchestrator of the final product, period. Now I'm dad. Now you always say, y'all love your dad more. They're girls. They got a different place in my heart. I don't know how it is to have a son, but I know how much I love them girls, and I give them the world as queens, and they appreciate it. So they do love their dad a lot, but trust me, they love their mom. Oh God, they love their mom. They love their mom to death. And you don't ever have to worry about your kids not loving you, ever. You are the epitome of the woman for them.
I think the thing about it is we are all given this whole idea of this American dream. Everybody. And I feel like the majority of us chase that. But when it comes down to it, it's about what's most important. And the one thing I know that we cannot get back is time. Cherish the time with your kids. I know it sounds so redundant, but cherish the time with your kids, because once they start growing, it's like that's it. That's it. You have to, I'm not going to say you have to find balance, because there's never a such thing as balance. It's more so about a balancing act. But what you have to understand is the imprint that you put on your kids is everlasting. The time you spend with your kids is everlasting. That job, those clients, they will cut you off in a heartbeat. But you're going to still have to be mom. You're still going to have to be there for them. So you have to be able to try to balance and act all of those things. And don't get caught up. Don't get caught up in the rat race. Don't get caught up on being on the hamster wheel. Because I was there. And I'm still dealing with it. And I'm so thankful that I have my husband, who is wonderful. And he breaks things down for me, because I'm very, very hard on myself. But don't get on that wheel, y'all. I promise you. Like, I know there's so many moms. They have mom guilt behind the scenes. They don't want to talk about it because they don't want to be vulnerable. They want to be this boss and all of this. And damn that. No, ma'am. You can be a boss and you can still be a boss to your kids. You can still be a boss in your marriage. But don't get caught up in that rat race because it's not worth it.
One question I want to ask you. How important has it been throughout your process to have an open line of communication with your kids? Do you think that if you didn't have that open line of communication with your kids, that you would even have a relationship with them right now?
Oh, of course not. You know, that's the one thing that we always preach and allowed them to do was to have a voice. Mm-hmm. Like, no matter what. I don't care if it could be the meanest thing that they could ever say to us. We always allow them to have a voice. And so they've always been open with us. I mean, of course, they're kids. You know, they're going to hide things or they may have, little secrets. But for the most part, those girls are open. And they will say every and anything. So I can appreciate the fact that, we were open this entire time.
And I think that's what saved us during our journey was the fact that at an early age we brought them in a room and we would kind of sit the parent title outside the door and kind of leave it open because we wanted to know, how do you feel about the life you're in? I mean, are we neglecting you? And do you feel like mom doesn't love you? We used to ask those questions. And I said all that to say, remember they never told you that they didn't feel like you didn't love them.
Yep.
They never once told you that. Not one time. They always told you they were proud of you. They always told you they were proud of you. And that's what you have to cling on to. That's why they still love and cherish you to this day. I know the guilt's not going to leave overnight, baby. But it was worth it. Because look at you now. Look at you now. You are in control of your own destiny completely. With your girls by your side. Completely.
Well, folks. I don't have a tagline for y'all tonight. I hope this makeup stayed on Demi Cosmetics. But in all honesty, don't get in the rat race. Cherish the time with your kids, your family, because we can't get it back. All those other things will be there when we leave this earth. So thank you guys for tuning in to an episode of A Seat at the Table. We will see you guys on the next episode. Make sure you follow us on our social media platforms. Instagram, A Seat with Randy and Demi. On Facebook, A Seat at the Table with Randy and Demi. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube, The Real House. We'll see you on the next episode.
Interested in being a member of our live studio audience? Email aseatwithrandyandDemi@gmail.com.